Hey, IDS 302. Welcome to Module 1 after our intro module. It's kind of awkward, but Module 1, Video 1. I am posting this a bit early, of course, because some students like to get things done on the weekends and some don't. And I know it doesn't start until Monday, Module 1. But, hopefully this is not an intrusion on your normal life. Watch it as you would, and when you need to. So I'm going to get into some. I put together my outline. It's kind of funny, but I wanted to mention on the introductions that I've scored so far. Oh my gosh, you guys just I've had previous classes. It's kind of hit or miss, but some classes, man, I don't recognize any music, any of those songs. Obviously, it's just past my prime there. But this class, oh my God, you came up with Bob Marley, Van Morrison, Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, Otis Redding. Oh, you rocked my world on that. That was great. Because I was, like I said to some of you, I said I was there when it came out, meaning that it was 1969. I was an 11-year-old kid and listening to "Here Come the Sun" by the Beatles or something. It's pretty awesome. So thank you. That really made it kind of fun. I know if you've seen the TikTok with the guy with the Fleetwood Mac Dreams, I think that thing was awesome. I mean, he's capitalized on that, of course, but what a great uh, kind of spontaneous thing that caught on there, and it really brought that album back. And Fleetwood Mac 70s 1977, that was big for me, that one. Anyways, okay, I didn't come here to reminisce. It's like my friends say when I tell them about this quarantine, this pandemic stuff, and it's just I'm all alone here. They're like, you're not alone. You got your son here. Yeah, see, there he is back behind the door. I said, my son. I mean, when we were 20, did we want to hang out with our dads? Not really. Okay, so I can't blame them. The Bears fans, way too many in this class. I mean, uh, as I joked, it's an automatic fail, but no, seriously, it's fine to be Bears fan. Turn in perfect work, I can give you a C. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm just kidding. You know that. It's just a little trash talk. Love Chicago. It's Milwaukee's big brother, as I see it. Okay, and actually, my dad was a Bears fan. I have no idea why, but okay. So let's take a look. As I like to say about some, make me sign in. Some of the uh, hello. Let's go. I like to introduce. This is really weird, and it won't let me sign in. Incorrect password. What? All right, then let me open it in the already open Chrome that I have. I'll have to figure out why this is happening. Let's see here. Sorry, please stand by. You know, production crew, where are you? Oh, okay, I know what this is. All right, let's talk about this in a little while. All right. Um, also, there is got an email from a colleague. I put it in my IDS 302 folder from Dr. Trin, my Trin. She says, dear colleagues, some of our tenured faculty, they're helping a research project as part of the interplanetary initiative at ASU to examine how leaders emerge and develop in decision-making situations related to space exploration. They developed it into a game, Port of Mars, to address it. This game has been piloted in person and online. We are now recruiting undergraduate students to participate in experiments to collect more data. She said that she's ready to ask our help. No cost, no foreseeable risk. Takes 30 to 60 minutes to play it. I will post what I have here on the announcement so that you know what I'm talking about in case you're interested in that. Sounds like an interesting thing to do. By the way, I voted, and my son and I voted, and it was funny because it was a couple of days ago in Chandler, we did the Dropbox thing, and I posted that, and then uh, Joy Reid of MSNBC, they were using MVP voters, voting MVP, so I posted it, and my son and I went a little bit of viral. I like that. That was pretty cool. he didn't like it, but yeah. So yeah, he voted though. He likes voting. So please vote. Because side note again, have I been off side notes yet? I don't know. My contemporaries, my friends that are my age, and they didn't go to college, really didn't graduate from high school. There's some GEDs in there. We've been friends for over 50 years, some of them. Um, they're always like, oh, kids these days, and blah, blah, blah. And, they got this, they got that. And I don't buy into that, okay? Because number one, like I tell my friends, if we would have grown up with these things, are you kidding me? That's my mom, by the way, me and mom. And if we grew up with these, we'd be wrecks. So you guys have a lot to deal with, a lot of new technology, a lot of new opportunities, a whole different world that my friends could not handle. I know that I probably couldn't either. So every generation has their challenges that they need to face, overcome, and assimilate into, right? Because my theory is that we were doing the same thing when we were kids, talking about our parents were saying that about us, their parents were saying about them. And depending on what you believe, I say if you go back far enough, there were some parents that were probably irritated with their kids because they decided to walk on 2 feet instead of stay on all fours in the trees. So it's been a generational thing, right? You guys got this. Please vote. I know I'm talking to students of all different ages here, so please don't be offended if you are already, you know, whatever. I'm fading away here. Okay, so let's talk about word counts. Been asked about that. Sometimes I'll put a word count in there, sometimes I won't. Word count makes it easier, of course, for you to understand what I'm looking for. However, as upper division college students, I would just expect you not to need word counts, but to then write in an appropriate depth of what the prompt is that I'm looking for, right? You want to be able to, not just say, oh, I did it, check it off, I'm done. Okay, there's a reason we're doing it, right? So as we move along for the big papers, I do have samples. I'm going to be updating those to even better ones if I can find them or to make them. And you'll have a really clear idea what a 100% paper looks like. So I think that'll help you a lot. All right. Um, my evaluations came back from 302 and session A and summer and that. I had those. But I want to talk to you about those because it's so important that this course evolves and I evolve and we get there. So, sure, I could talk about the 50 of them that pat me on the back and, no, just kidding. But let's take a look at ways to improve. The two main issues that I always see come up are about formatting and about due dates. Okay, so let's handle the latter first. Some students are like, I want my due dates on Tuesdays and Sundays. Why can't it be Tuesdays and Sundays or Thursdays and Sundays or Sundays only or whatever? I understand that. Continuity would be great. That kind of structure would be great. Helps you to plan better, such. Is that real life? No, it's not. Come on. Some days you need groceries on Tuesday. Some days you got to go back on Wednesday. I don't want to compare this to groceries, but what I'm saying is that I put the due dates in because this is the chronological order of the course. If I put them all in one day, as I said last week or so, it's just going to get wrecked. So my point is that I don't want it to really impact you where you feel stressed and rushed and you got to do this after you just worked a 10-hour shift or did a double at Starbucks or whatever. I don't want you to do that, okay? But I tried in summer B, I think it was, I said, look, I know you got issues. If you're going to be late with a paper, just send me an email and tell me when you're going to be late, when it's going to be in by. Oh my God, I couldn't get anything on the due date. Everyone would just put it off. And my class became the low priority for them. So you see, there's a fine line between offering flexibility and then having people just, I hate to say take advantage of that, but then they're like, well, my history professor won't allow that, but this guy will. So let me just keep pushing his work back. Okay, so that's not cool either. So I'm trying to find a balance. I mean, if you're really, really stuck on something that you can't get it in, number one, you can take the late hit. It's not that big of a deal. If you'd rather get a 90 because a good paper is turned in a day late than get a 60 because it was turned in on time. So do the math, right? And then communicate with me. That's the thing. Communicate with me. Don't just sit there and think that I chiseled this stuff on Mount Rushmore, that I can't change anything for you or for a group or anything. So I'd like to hear about it if anything becomes a burden. on these due dates. Videos, I don't charge any late fee, do them, hopefully you'll get to them, right? The other thing, formatting. Okay, this has been a contentious point for a couple, low percentage of students, but for them, it just gets really, you really get ticked off. You know, I did. Why do you deduct for not capitalizing? You deduct for no missing comma. You deduct for in text citation. You deduct for the works cited list. You deduct for this. Why? This is ridiculous. Well, because there's got to be a line drawn. All right, doing a research paper in a scholarly fashion requires certain structure. All right, we need to follow that. Because if I just tell you, then you just send me one long 6-page thing and I got to dig through it. No, that would be crap, right? You know that. So where do we draw the line? Draw the line in proper formatting. That is Times New Roman 12 point font. It's not difficult. You get in Word, you open it up, you change it to Times New Roman 12 point font, the whole paper. Okay. Um, the works cited list is always done in hanging paragraphs. If you never did one before, I don't know what to tell you. I'm shocked and I'm sorry that you haven't had to do a hanging paragraph work citation reference list or what have you. But it's easy to figure out how to do it. And if you don't, you can get a hold of me and I will tell you how to do it. But it's easy. Don't try to manipulate it. It's in Word, okay? All right. Like I said, I learned how to format in my 50s. You can do it now. I guarantee you. Um, the specifics that I will lay out are going to be they're very specific, okay? And if you don't do it, I'm going to ding you for some of it, not micromanage everything, okay? I don't do that. I know where to draw my line, okay? But if the in-text citation comes after the punctuation, you get dinged for it because that means it just started the next sentence, okay? And students that have been in my 301s, you know this, right? Capitalizing the disciplines, capitalizing interdisciplinary studies, both words. Studies is capitalized. Biology is capitalized. Business is capitalized when you're talking about academic disciplines, okay? I'm very, very disciplined with that because I want your writing to be disciplined. I want you to have a paper that just is great. And you'll see the samples, you'll see that. All right. Now, I also have a policy that if people just bomb the hell out of the first paper because they're like, well, this guy, he ain't that serious. And they bomb it and they get a 35 out of 70 or whatever. I'm going to say, let's connect and you can redo this thing. All right. Because I always feel that once that first paper gets corrected, we move on. I know it's my 301 students. You're already ready to go, I think. So it should be okay. But I just want you to work with me on that. Okay. So I'm going to actually delete that and I'm going to use my Easter egg number 3 for Easter egg number 1. And it's a long one, but I just want you to remember this. Easter egg number 1 is commenting now is better than later. That's all you got to write for Easter egg number 1. Commenting now is better than later. The later being like evaluation. Not that you can critique me an evaluation, but I'm just saying that why would a student wait till after the course is over to then try to, talk about what they felt through the whole thing when they couldn't get back to me on it? Because I'm not going to be punitive. I mean, let's discuss it. So commenting now to me is better than later, and you don't have to ruminate a lot on it in that number 1 Easter egg. Just give it to me, okay? Let's see then. I just wrote this down. IDS people are the smartest people, in my opinion. We have to, as interdisciplinarians, we're obligated to look at, analyze issues, problems from multiple disciplines, okay? Even if you're not writing papers on this, it slides into critical thinking, okay? It looks at an issue or item and where friends, family, other students might look at something and just a historical vision because that's their discipline, that's fine, okay? But we can add something to that by using our skills as interdisciplinarians. Doesn't mean we know as much about a history major because they're in-depth history, but it does mean that we could take history and then look at sociology involved. We could look at art. We could look at whatever appropriate discipline goes into that to come up with an analysis if need be, right? And this is where your value is, in my opinion, as an interdisciplinarian, okay? I say open-minded equals depth, All right, we're not myopic here. Myopic. We don't just see with blinders on. Uh, interdisciplinary students they're open-minded, so they have depth. Now, open-minded doesn't always mean that there's two sides to everything. We got to give them equal billing and stuff like that. No, no, it doesn't mean that. Okay, it means open-minded though to listen, to see, to gather information before we maybe make up our mind on something, right? Okay. And I'm just talking to you again here as interdisciplinarians to give you a little bit more context to what we are, who we are, what we do, as opposed to just this being small talk. I think it helps to elevate you in this field, right? Um, I just said, for example, take BLM, all right? The Bureau of Land Management. No, I'm just kidding. Black Lives Matter, all right? And you look at that movement, and we can look at it and say, from an African studies standpoint, there's a lot to analyze within that, right? But we can also look at it from a historical standpoint in terms of protest, revolution, evolving, okay? We can look at it from a psychology standpoint, from a sociology standpoint, all right, from a political science standpoint. There's a lot of ways to look at a particular issue before we just knee jerk it like many others do and focus on one thing. Oh, defund the police. They got to defund. We can't have no police. We got to have police. Okay, well, you look into it, and I did like I did when I first heard that. Look into what does defund the police mean actually. All right, it doesn't say unfund the police, right? Defund the police. Los Angeles County has a police budget that exceeds the military budget of many countries. Of course, it's huge. Of course, they have it. But when does the militarization become balanced with mental health services, things like that? And again, these are contentious, provocative points, but I want to make them in terms of interdisciplinary and looking at all these aspects instead of just saying police, okay? And instead of saying, oh, defund the police, they're just full of crap, you know? Okay, take a look at it. Try to have that open-mindedness and empathy to understand. Then make your decision based on your own assessment of the facts, right? Okay, so moving on, I want to talk about the fact that, again, with this paper and papers that you've done in the past, results are what matter, right? It's like, what did you write in this paper? We turn in a paper and what is this? Of course, you're going to be judging results. But in this class, in this project, it's the process that you're being exposed to, the process that you're getting experience in, and the process itself has a lot of weight, okay? And within that process is formatting, the aforementioned formatting, right? But it's an interdisciplinary inquiry process, all right? It's applying your interdisciplinary skills to a research project. Research can be done in a myriad of different ways, right? There's tons of different ways to do legitimate scholarly research, okay? This is one that I don't want to say just I invented it, because Tanner's 5 steps are in the book and they're made for that. And then you've got Repko's steps and Klein's steps and Newell's steps to analyze interdisciplinary issues, justify them, analyze them. So this is one way to do that research, okay? And the process of doing that for you right now is important because this isn't your business class. This isn't your psych class. The content's going to be important, but I don't know squat about psych except my own problems, right? So I'm not going to sit here and look at your content and say, no, 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 no. Freud didn't say that in 1928. He said, I don't know. This is your area, but I can talk to you about the process. I can look at your process, how you got from point A to point B, what your formatting looked like. These are important things in this course. Okay, you can do it too, because it's really not that tough. All right. So let's move on here. So let's see. Okay, remember the goal of scholarly research, the goal of research, postdoc research, any research. The goal of the research is to add knowledge, right, to your field. So I don't care if it's an eyedropper in the Pacific Ocean of knowledge in your field. You want to add something to it. That's what differentiates us from the animals. No, it differentiates us from lower levels of research, from researching a new car to doing a high school research report on the Titanic. You didn't rent a sub and went down to Titanic, discovered new stuff. You didn't compile information about the Titanic issue and came up with something and discovered something new. You compiled information and you presented it. That was the research level there. This research and beyond is adding knowledge to the field. Okay, so Easter egg number 2 is research adds knowledge. And I want to make that clear because you're not just putting together a report Like you're going to dig into all this data and all this stuff and put it together. Okay, great. You're going to do that in the early steps. But when the rubber meets the road and you've got to gather data and discover something in 7 weeks, it's absurd. I grant you that. But what's it going to be? That's what I want to help you do. So if you take a look at, um, okay, the process, I'm getting ahead of my own brain and I can't remember where I'm at here. But okay, so he's on stage fright. Okay, so let's see. All right. So let's just talk about, I did say Easter egg number 2 was research adds knowledge, correct? Good. All right. So quick question, I'll get to topics. Okay, module 1, hey, he's finally there, 20 minutes in. It gets us going on the steps. Okay, so from October 19th to October 25th is module 1. Again, this is all gray area, it just guides us along. Okay, the readings are approximately 38 pages. Be sure to read that Nature of Research. I actually yanked that from the old textbook. I can't even get it on my bookshelf. The old textbook, which was very research heavily laden book, difficult to read. But it talks to you about what research is and what research isn't. And I think that's important for you to, contextualize and understand. Take a look at the REPCO's key characteristics of interdisciplinary research and writing. It's actually a website link, 1 page from a master's class, but I just want you to just indulge in that for a minute. Tanner chapter 3, I had it in intro module, either read it again or absorb it for the first time. It's about 14 pages, but it includes the steps. Page 34 have the 5 steps that you're going to be using, okay? Tanner chapter 4 is critical thinking and epistemology, 8 pages. And Tanner chapter 5 is integrative learning, 8 pages. You should get through those because there's a quiz due October 23rd that incorporates all those chapters in the intro, okay? And the other things. Take a look at that. You'll be able to get through it. It's all, the quiz is half multiple choice, half true and false. It's cake. Okay, then we're going to get into an ethics reading. It's important that you read that ethics page because it's going to get into, what there's a the IRB, the Institutional Review Board, that would look at your research. Now I know what I was thinking about before, and approve it. Okay, and there's certain things you can and can't do. So again, the biggest 3 obstacles I think in this course are: 1, it's 7.5 weeks long. No research can do research. It's just so hard, but it is. It is what it is. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, interdisciplinarians. You guys, there's like 50 probably disciplines represented in this class, right? And so that creates an issue. Number 3 is your undergrad students. Most of you has not experienced academic scholarly research before. So all these 3 things combined makes it very challenging, but I think we've gotten ways to get through that, okay? So read about the ethics, because when you consider, that's why we're moving towards a quantitative survey for everyone in a quantitative methodology of research, and you're going to only survey 18 and older, adults only. We cannot survey, and we cannot do research right in this course for, vulnerable issues, vulnerable parties. If you have a question about that, you'll certainly let me know, right, as we get into your choice. Now, as you choose your topic, those are general topics, very general, okay? I'm going to just give you that so you know what direction you want to go in, okay? Because it just seems easier to pick. Then we can get into how you're going to direct that, okay, into maybe the disciplines you're going to use or what have you. Let's go back to the Black Lives Matter. If someone chooses that, it's a big, huge issue. What are you going to do? I mean, so you can look at it then. Let's say your disciplines are history and psychology. Okay, so then you're going to start focusing on, you're going to look at the historical aspects of revolution and maybe African American studies, but you're going to also look at the psychology of what it means to a community, to a country, or you might look at the international aspects of BLM, which is gotten globally. It's a little different. So you're going to work way down. Then what it comes down to is your research. Then is you're going to look at what are some of the opinions, perceptions, and experiences regarding Black Lives Matter movement, revealed in a survey of random adults. It's not revealed in a survey of, non-white minorities. That's not revealed in a survey of protesters or revolutionists, okay? It's revealed in a survey of random adults. Everybody's going to be like that. Why? Because we need more data. The more data we can get. If you can get the 62-year-old white guy to do your survey and compare it to a 20-year-old minority female, African-American female or something, you've got some great data to correlate. It's just easier to compare, okay? Certainly there are classes and there's research projects, women and gender studies. You want to do research on, women under 30, great. It's not a monolithic entity as it is, but it certainly is a higher level of research, and that's great, okay? Your topic, the gravitas, the apparent gravitas or weight of what you're deciding is not going to add anything to your grade. Okay, this is about the process, completing it appropriately, gathering data, analyzing it, and moving through. Okay, just like I said, sorry I'm talking fast. The clock's just ticking. It's just like I said. You want to become a pilot? Okay, great. Get in this 747 and take off? No, you're going to do a lot of simulation. You're going to do the Cessna. All right, that's what we're in. We're in simulation Cessna mode here. Okay. So like I said, don't overthink it. Don't think, oh my God, this is research. I got to come up with something to discover. No, you just got to, I'll help guide you. Okay. So that's that. All right. Quiz 1023. Okay. Step 1 is due on the 25th. I'm going to talk a lot more about that on the next video, which I will do probably on the 22nd, maybe on the 21st, depending on how my week is going. Like I said, I'm apologizing, not really, for posting videos early because they're going to be there then when you need them. All right. Some people want them sooner, need them sooner, like them sooner. Some people, it'll still be there. Okay. If, like I said, there's issues keeping up with a particular due dates, you just let me know. All right. And it's already 26 and a half minutes. Okay. I'm sorry I'm talking so fast. I promised I'd slow down. So let's see. All right. And other than that, by popular request, let's see, by popular request here. Okay, by popular request, I'm getting one of these two. These are the males that were just born, and the goal is to make them into that. Okay, so that's my dog. I might have him during class. I don't know yet, before the semester's over. Other than that, take it easy. Easter egg number 3. I'm going to do it again because I don't have one now. Vote, because I voted. It's on the back of the iPad or something. And forks up. Peace.